Is a settlement for the $20 billion election interference lawsuit on the way for CBS, Paramount, and President Trump? Well, folks, there's a big news dump today, and the legacy media already in the dumps is having a tough time swallowing this pill. The president of CBS News has just gone down. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we as ever endeavor to explain entertainment. Keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. And folks, we ask that you click the like button. We're in a bit of a rush today. You may not be able to tell because professionalism is what we do around here. We were doing a different video for this afternoon. The 12:30 release was supposed to be about Pedro Pascal. We pushed that video. It's completely done. While we were recording about Pedro, it turns out that the president of CBS News stepped down, and immediately when I heard the news, I said, well, we'll have to shuffle the deck. We've got to get on this quick because this is big. This is very big. Let me read it to you out of Fox News. CBS News CEO Wendy McMahon abruptly resigns, cites disagreement with company, a mixed, challenging period. And you can see, this is so funny. Folks, what does that, why is that typo there? Because Fox News is probably rushing to get this headline out. That's how quickly this is breaking. Says it's become clear that the company and I do not agree on the path forward, McMahon said, as CBS battles Trump lawsuit. This is by Brian Flood, Joseph Wolfson over on Fox News. Now, as we get into this, I just want to explain what's really going on, because you should not read this literally. You should read this in terms of understanding the parlance of business PR and media spin. Wendy McMahon, who is the CEO and has only been there for like a year in terms of being in the sole position, Wendy McMahon is announcing that she's going bye-bye. And I'll read the quote and then I'll translate it for you. It says, today I'm stepping down from my position as president and CEO of CBS News and Stations and CBS Media Ventures. It has been one of the most meaningful chapters in my career. Leading this extraordinary organization has been the honor of a lifetime because I got to work alongside all of you. At the same time, the past few months have been challenging. It's become clear that the company and I do not agree on the path forward. It's time for me to move on and for this organization to move forward with new leadership. Okay. Can I translate for you, please? Let me do that. This is the standard statement that would be made when I'm not suggesting I know this definitively. There is some speculation, but folks, it'll make sense. This is the kind of statement, the kind of positive, everybody's going forward to do something great. This is the kind of thing that you say when the suits bring you in to the big table, and there's a bunch of them sitting there, and they say to you, here's what we're going to do. We can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way. You get to decide. We'd like you to choose the easy way. We'd like you to put this statement out. We've inserted this sentence for you. It says that we can't agree on a path forward. That will help you save face, but this is what we would like for you to say. Here's the treasure chest you get to take away with you that makes you not want to say much more, and then here's the door. Or we can do it the hard way, and you get the pink slip. Pink slip's over here. We're holding it. Which one would you like? Golden ticket or pink slip? Which one do you want? I bet Wendy McMahon was offered that. I bet she took the golden ticket, right? The Calvin Coolidge Project has this. Says, just in, CBS News president and CEO Wendy McMahon has resigned. It's become clear that the company and I do not agree on the path forward. Her resignation comes as CBS is considering settling a $20 billion lawsuit from President Trump over the 60-minute interview with Harris. Now, I would say, folks, that that's not how I would term this. Now, this is behind a paywall, and so we're very careful not to read these things behind a paywall. The New York Times has this, though, and you can see it's blocked by the subscription requirement. But if you have a subscription to the New York Times, I don't know why you do, but I recommend you go read this if you have that subscription. It says, Paramount board clears possible path for settling Trump's 60 Minutes lawsuit. This was 3 weeks ago. Can I explain that, please? Folks, Paramount owns CBS. Paramount wants to merge with Skydance, and essentially they want to be bought out. And so 3 weeks ago, when they looked at it with their legal people and said, we might not get to merge with Skydance, and the FCC, they've got some real dings on us. They came together and they met as a board and they said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and approve the mechanisms for a settlement. So we're going to give you the authority to settle this. If you can get it settled with President Trump, it's time to settle. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to settle at $20 billion, but it means they're going to settle at something else, right? Something significant, because Trump's not going to be like, oh yeah, well, thank you for the number one green Uno card, right? That's not going to do it. So Wendy McMahon, 3 weeks later, is gone. Bill Owens is gone. Bill Owens was the head of 60 Minutes. All of these people are jumping ship. And the reason they're jumping ship is because the settlement has already been approved. It's the number that the attorneys have to get, approved now. That's it. But they already put the mechanisms in place, according to the New York Times. Like, this is a done deal. And I just want you to see, like, this lady, Wendy McMahon over at CBS News as the president of it, she has had a hard time. October 17th, 2024, out of Straight Arrow News, CBS News president faces controversy and criticism in first year at the helm. It says, Wendy McMahon, president of CBS News, is facing significant challenges in her first year. She made it a year, grappling with multiple crises in the newsroom. Recent key issues include backlash over the editing of a 60 Minutes interview. It goes on to talk about the Middle Eastern issue too. Let me go down to it just a little bit, though. In response to internal and external concerns, CBS News is considering an editorial review aimed at improving fairness in reporting. This effort includes investigating employee reports of bad stuff. McMahon's leadership comes at a pivotal time as Paramount merges with Skydance Media. She is scheduled to meet with Jeff Shell, the incoming president of Paramount Global. What does that mean? When Skydance buys it, there will be somebody new that she would have reported to. An outsider to network news with a background in local television, McMahon became CBS News president in August of 2023. Now, co-president, we need to clarify, okay? So in terms of being the only person in the seat, about 1 year. Okay, so why does this all matter, folks? Why does this all matter? Because Paramount and CBS, according to Fox News, this is back from April, they've already settled one thing. They've already settled over the DEI stuff, and other companies are facing the same kind of problem. They may have huge legal settlements they have to make. But CBS has got to get this thing, they got to get this FCC investigation off of them, and they got to get this $20 billion lawsuit with Trump off of them. That's not all, though, because the legacy media is going to present this as if these people are martyrs. Bill Owens is a martyr. Wendy McMahon is a martyr. Everybody working at CBS, they're martyrs. 60 Minutes, martyred. Right? That's what they're going to try to tell you. They were doing the good fight. They were trying to light the light, to keep the beacon alive of news and journalism. Not so. That's not how you should see this. You should not see this as people sacrificing their careers for the name of integrity and virtue. Rather, you should see that they're being bought by a company that they don't want them. And why in the world would they want them? These people already got sued successfully over discriminatory practices. They're currently, facing this major lawsuit, and 60 Minutes is basically screwed because everybody can see both versions of it. So it's not like they get to hide and say, oh, well, it's just a silly edit. We do this all the time. They're trying to say that, which that's even more problematic because it's like, well, now that we see what a typical edit looks like for you, yeah, we've got more questions about this. So Skydance is buying Paramount. Paramount owns CBS. CBS owns CBS News. There are you got to go way down the chain to get to CBS News. It's a teeny tiny, itsy bitsy division other than 60 Minutes, which still has some cachet and sway. It's an itsy bitsy part of this buyout, of this merger. Skydance is looking at this saying, you know what? Of this vehicle we're purchasing, 90% of it runs great. 95% of it runs great, and we're happy to buy it. And then there's this little group of saboteurs over there at CBS News. Here's what I think. I think that Wendy McMahon, as the head of CBS News, and Bill Owens, by the way, as the head of 60 Minutes, I think that they know their time is up. And I think it was made blatantly obvious to them, and maybe to the point of being told outright, choose one. Do you want the golden ticket or do you want the pink slip? But they have been, in my opinion, they've been forced out the door. And they're not just being forced out the door because of integrity or because of ethics or because they got caught, all of that is true. They're also being tossed out the door because the people buying the company don't want them anymore. Because they're barnacles, because they're parasites, because they are partisan, deconstructionists. They are devastating to anybody who owns them because they are not in simpatico with the corporation. They are not, their allegiances don't lie with the shareholders. Instead, they lay every single time at the feet of the politicos, the DNC. They're not part of the winning team anymore. The political landscape has changed. It has shifted. And thus, they must go away. Wendy McMahon is going bye-bye, bye-bye, because the merger with Skydance is nigh, and the merger with Skydance is nigh because a settlement, I believe, is forthcoming very, very soon. And here's something to ponder as we get ready to go away. As we get ready to wrap this video, which was hastily put together as the news broke, as we were recording the other video that was supposed to go up, what if the settlement says that Wendy had to go bye-bye? What if one of the conditions that President Trump and his attorneys put to CBS and to Paramount was she's got to go? What if the FCC pushed this out there and said, you're not being very fair? You know, this DEI stuff that you already got successfully sued for, and the way you handle your news, this is not becoming of a network that has network access to the airwaves the United States government essentially licenses out. We don't like Wendy. We don't think Wendy is a winner for you. And what if they said, well, Wendy, come on into the big table. Wendy's been at the big table. She's no longer at the table, folks. And the people who want power in legacy media are losing it quickly. We've got more on this, by the way. And we've got more on it because this is not the biggest scandal by far of the day, even though this is breaking. And so we're doing it right now. This afternoon, we're going to talk about MSNBC, maybe a little bit about CNN. Jen Psaki, there could not have been a worse time. There could not have been a worse time for MSNBC to essentially hand over their entire channel to the former press secretary for Joe Biden. Given the diagnosis and condition announced today or yesterday, there could not be a worse time for Jen Psaki. I'll explain it today at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Be there, please. Also, folks, we've got news. We are going to be launching a rebrand. Vacation Radio, the channel on YouTube, is going to be changing its name, but Vacation Radio is not going away. It will become one of many different radio stations, all playing live on YouTube 365, 24/7. And we want you to be a part of that. We're going to be making announcements real soon, this week, in fact. And it's going to be a huge launch of everything we're doing over there. Vacation Radio was just the step, the toes in the water, if you will. And get ready, because the month of June is going to be the summer of rock here on the Pro Channel. All right, folks, you rock. Click that like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun. And never settle unless you're CBS. Then you probably should. What are you doing?
Well, I was feeling really behind and uneducated on all the happenings in the entertainment world. So, I was trying to work out a solution, specifically around 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And, this is what I came to.
That's not what that means.
Oh.
But, why wouldn't you just watch Midnight's Edge on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays? And on Tuesdays, on WDW Pro's channel, you got the Pro Show, and on Thursdays, you got That Park Place with Jonas and Vash.
Jonas? That guy sucks.
Well, feel free to jump in the chat and remind him of that regularly.
I won't feel free. I am free, baby. But I think you forgot something important.
What's that?
On Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, there's something really special that happens on Florals from Under a Rock.
Ah, right.
Under a Rock, where we don't simply talk about entertainment, we actually try to be the entertainment. Which, Floral, you're actually kind of dragging the show down, you know what I mean?
Well, theoretically, you and everyone else knows now what's happening at 12 Eastern Time throughout the week.
Yep. Now, just a point of clarity. You say 12 p.m. Eastern Time that the Midnight Edge will be happening. Is Tom gonna commit to being on time?
Well, that's a fair question.
Okay.